Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Sheva Narottamam, Devim Saraswatam Vyasam, Tato Jayamadire, Nasapreshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavatamashoke Bhakti Bhavati Naishiki, Krishna Swadamo Bhagate Dharmaganadi Visaha Kalonasya Drishamesha Puranarkadanodita Sarvedanta Saramhi Sri Bhagavatamishite Tadasamrita Chutasya Nanyatra Sadrati Krishna Krishna Tuya Bhagavata Sarvashaya Pradishoke Pradishaya Nanartakaya Premaya Bhagavata Krishna Sriyanga Tate Kayate Gopi Krishna Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Kantra Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So this is, I think it's too loud. It's too loud of echo or something. August, I mean, what is it? April 29th and 19th. For the third canto, chapter 29. So this is chapter 29. Kapila Muni is continuing to teach about Bhakti and Vaishnava Dharma to his mother Devahuti. And this is a chapter about the different types of Bhakti. It's when you first join Krishna consciousness, they tell you it's a very simple process. Just chant Hare Krishna, dance, and take prasad. But then as you get into it, you say, wait a minute, this is a really complicated process. Bhakti is not one kind of bhakti. There's 3 kinds of bhakti times 3 times 3 times 81. There's millions of kinds of bhakti. Bhakti and Tamagun and Shantaras. Bhakti and Tamagun and Dasa. He gets so many divisions and subdivisions. It's very hard to understand where you are, where you are, who you are, what you're doing. So this chapter is to wake up all the new bhaktas. You can figure, oh my God, I've been doing for the last 2 years since I started first canto. Now in the third canto, I realized I'm doing Tavasi Bhakti. As I always said, I'll repeat, the Bhagavatam is basically an explanation, elaboration of Rupa Goswami's definition of pure Bhakti from the Gaudiya conception. Anya Vilashita Shunya Jnana Karmadya Navritam Anukaya Krishna Shilam Bhakti Uttama. The Uttama Bhakti is this, no covering. So covering a karma means Tamagun, Rajagun, Sattvagun. And covering again. All these things are what is being described here. These coverings are being described in the first 9 cantos of Bhagavatam. We get to the 10th canto, then you find raw bhakti, real bhakti, pure bhakti, no covering, or pure organic, 100% natural. No stone ground bhakti. No Kachini bhakti. You find the real thing. No Tamagun mixed in, no Rajagun, no Sattvagun, no motivation, no material desires, nothing. Only pleasure of Krishna, Krishna Akuya, and constant love and devotion. That's Radharani, her bhakti for Krishna. So in the 29th chapter, Kapila Muni says, tell me about birth and death and all these different things he's asking. I mean, his mother, I guess, is asking. Devahuti is asking. I mean, wait a minute. What's going on? Devahuti said. Devahuti is his wife. No. Mother, Devahuti. Karamuni and Devahuti. Mother's asking to describe about birth and death and Because by hearing about birth and death, what happens?
You get detached.
You get detached. Virago. Because if we don't hear about it, we don't think that we're going to die. This is the illusion that Yudhisthira was revealing in Mahabharata when Dharmaraj asked Yudhisthira, "You're the emperor of the world. What's the most amazing thing you know? You know everything. You know you control the whole world. You must be pretty smart. Must have a lot of experience. Must have seen a lot of things, heard a lot of things, done a lot of things. What's your conclusion?" Well, that's true. I've seen a lot of things. What I see is, although everyone sees that my grandfather died, my father died, my uncle died, and my uncle's son was only 14, and he died also, got in a car accident. But I'm thinking that I will never die. This is the most amazing thing I've understood by observing this world and the fools in it. So we're one of those fools that thinks we're going to live forever. But when we hear about from the Shastra that life is temporary and the soul is eternal, you're not the body, and this wakes us up. Ji Jago, Tamasi Mam Jyotirgama. Come out of ignorance, come out of darkness, go to the light of truth, come to the light of knowledge. The truth will set you free, as they say. So to begin bhakti, one needs a little detachment. There's two sides to this. There's attachment, there's detachment. So where does bhakti fit in this picture? In the middle. Because if you're too attached, you can't surrender. You can't follow the principle. You can't do bhakti. You're too attached to enjoyment and the material body, material world. If you're too detached, what happens then?
We get into Advaital philosophy.
Yeah, you get involved with impersonalism. You're too detached. You're even detached from your own body, your own person. You don't even think you're a person, and you can't appreciate other persons. And you become like a floating ball of consciousness. You don't have any sensitivity. You don't have any emotions. You don't cry. You don't laugh. You're just like a rock with legs. A walking rock. Even to have a phrase like that, rockhead. Yeah, right. Rockhead. So yogis and people are too detached. They can't have sentiments of devotion. They can't have feelings of love. They can't love and they can't embrace the conception of a personal God, or that they're a person, or that they can have a loving relationship of exchanges of love and service. So that's why bhakti is for the average guy, the average girl. You're too attached, too detached, go into yoga or into Gyan or just stay a karmi or whatever. There's so much funny sound here. So there's not that much confusion here. Look at verse number 7 in chapter 29. Read the Sanskrit.
Sri Bhagavan Vach Bhakti Yogo Bahuvido Margair Bhavini Bhavyate Svabhava Guna Margena Pumsam Bhavo Vidhyate.
This is a very important verse of this chapter. Bhagavan Kapila Muni said, Bhakti appears in many forms by particular actions in a person according to his intentions. What is your bhav? What is your feelings? What is your intention? Is it selfish? Is it passionate selfish? Is it ignorant selfish? Is it sattvic selfish? A lot better you are sattvic selfish. Your tamasic self is. So that's what the chapter is about. The intentions of human beings, men and women, are classed by the actions of the gunas rising from one's nature. This translation is taking the word called pumsa. This fourth line of Sanskrit is pumsa. Pumsa means as a man means male, but the verse philosophy applies to men and women. It is pumsam bhava vividyate. It's the gunas arising from one's. It says the intentions of men, because pumsa bhava. Bhava means intention, means sentiments, means feelings, means emotion. What makes you tick? What gets you off? So Kapila has already spoken about pure bhakti, and he repeats again that definition of pure bhakti from a previous chapter 25. Pure bhakti to Krishna has no material desires. Its actions relate to Krishna, which are following a guru's teachings and instruction. One performs actions with his senses, with his mind dedicated exclusively to Krishna, which includes actions on a spontaneous level, is superior to liberation. So to engage in Rag Marg Bhajan and Bhakti at the level of Bhava Bhakti, Rag Bhakti, and Bhava Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti, one doesn't care anything about liberation because he's already living in pure spiritual dimension, in pure spiritual consciousness, and experiencing transcendental ecstasy in his life, even in what's so-called material world. So this chapter 25, which we covered already, verse 32, which is quoted by Vishnath here, is a very almost mirror definition of Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11 Anyabhilasya Sindhu. It's very close to the definition of pure bhakti given by Sri Rupa Goswami. So that's what we should strive for. But now this chapter is going to show us where we may be caught up, or we may be limiting our bhakti, or maybe contaminating or mixing our bhakti with some tinges or particle matter, particular contaminations of ignorance, passion, or goodness. Bhakti has many forms according to intention of a person. So remember, bhakti is one, it's pure love and devotion. But the person who has a bhakti may mix it up. I give you a glass of orange juice. You drink it, it's very healthy. But you have a different idea. You put vodka in it. It becomes known as a screwdriver. That's what it's called in America. It's called a screwdriver. It screws up your brain. Drives you crazy. So, it start off as a sattvic drink, you made tamasi. By your intention, by your bhav, by your addition, by your contaminating. So bhakti is pure, but your mentality, your bhav, your mentality, your idea, your sankalpa, what you want from this bhakti will contaminate the bhakti. Bhakti's not contaminated. Orange juice is orange juice. Even when it's mixed in vodka, you can still separate the vodka from the orange juice. How do you do that? You boil it. And the alcohol, which is the vodka, evaporates and it becomes again orange juice. So we have to boil our bhakti. We have to boil our bhakti to boil off the contamination. Bhakti is pure gold. So now he gets right into it, rolls up his sleeves and tries right into the worst kind of bhakti, which is tamasic bhakti, ignorant bhakti, angry person, devoid of compassion, worships me with intention of violence, pride, and hatred. So some people do bhakti become famous as tamasic bhakti. contaminated by pride. Oh, if I say I'm going to go to Vrindavan and study Bhagavatam at the Institute of Sanskrit, I'll study there, I'll learn how to do Bhagavad Saptas, then I'm going to make a lot of money. I know one famous Brahmin now in Vrindavan. When he was a kid, he just finished Sanskrit school and Bhagavatam school. They have a school in Vrindavan where they teach Sanskrit, Bhagavatam, and Sangeet, because that's what you need to make money. So he graduated, and he went to Calcutta and had a bunch of Mararis, rich people, sponsor Bhagavad Sapta. He came back and he didn't have a car. He pulled into the guest house where I was staying with a brand new costly Indian Maruti XL or some really costly Maruti at the time. It cost like 5 lakhs or 8 lakhs. It was like a costly car, with that fancy Indian Maruti. He pulled in and I said, what's this? He put his hand on the hood and said, it's Bhagavad Prasad. I got this from my first Bhagavad Gita in Calcutta. I also got a lot of gold and jewelry. Because when we got to the 10th canto of Janmashtami, we had a boy dressed up as Gopal. And he walked through the audience. Everybody took off necklaces and gave him gold. We were giving Krishna's Janma Leela. So everybody wanted to get the blessing of baby Krishna, Gopal. So Gopal walked through the audience with a basket. Everybody took all their gold bangles and necklaces. So I got 10 lakhs in gold. 10 lakhs in gold. And this is my Bhagavad Prasad, new car. So I said, good job. So this is a little bhakti mixed up with a little most of nature. So pride and actually usually this kind of bhakti, as the Vishnu explains, that one has evil intentions. So the kind of bhakti that you enjoy, the Bhagavad Sapta prophets, is more like sattvic bhakti. I would think it's not tamasic. Because usually tamasic means you want to get some power by worshiping Krishna to do harm to another person. That's where he cites the Brihad Naradiya Purana. One worships Krishna with the goal to destroy another person. So, you see, because usually you read the Bhagavatam, Brikasura worships Shiva, you get the power to crack heads. In 10th canto, the Shiva Bhakti. So you got the power to crack heads. And so what do you want to do? What did Brikasura want to do?
He wanted to keep his hand on Shiva's head.
He wanted to put his hand on Shiva's head to crack his head. Turn up, what number is that? Turn up.
It was on.
Huh?
It was on, it just automatically off.
What is it?
It was on already.
Oh.
Number.
Turn up the number.
I mean, it was on and it's automatically switched off itself.
Oh, switch, I guess, huh?
It's like-
It's a slow fan. So he had this power from worshiping Shiva, and he really wanted to use it to destroy Shiva and enjoy his wife. So that's okay. So he started running after Shiva. Oh, okay, turn it down a little bit. Some people worship Krishna, get power to destroy. I don't know, but this was it. So now the next one is Rajasic Bhakti. When one worships Krishna with desire for other objects, the goals of material gain, fame, or power. So maybe this example of Bhagavad Sapta, I will learn Bhagavad Sapta so I get name and fame and money, would be called Rajasic Bhakti. Because I know people that do Bhagavad Sapta, they don't take any money. Raghavinda. Raghavinda Swami, his son Bhagavatam, he doesn't take any money. So here, then Sattvic, what is Sattvic? Sattvic means when one worships with a desire. So Sattvic means you're doing bhakti to advance your personal cause spiritually. You want to the heart of it says some bumblebee trying to bite you. So you want to destroy karma and make your work as an offering to Krishna. Execute the worship as a duty, have a desire for liberation as Sattvic Bhakti. Basically, that's what we find in modern spiritual movements. Modern spiritual movements are doing Sattvic Bhakti. Like, why are you doing Bhakti? Well, I want to get a good job. I want to live a comfortable life. I want to go back home, back to Godhead. This is all, I want to get free from my bad karma. I had a bad upbringing. I had bad karma. And Bhakti is good, gets good results. It's Kleshagni, Shubhada, and all this good stuff. I want to get free from my misery caused by my bad karma. I want to make my life Shubhada. I want to make my life auspicious. And I want to go back to God. I want moksha, the good. Do you want Sandrananda Visheshatma or Sri Krishna Karsi? No, I don't want that. I don't want prema or anything like that. I want the good life. Big happy house in my country. Chauffeur, private cook. So this is Sattvic Bhakti. There's a lot of people not involved. He worships out of duty, having obtained rules for daily rites. He worships while performing his duties of his ashram. Has a desire for liberation. Then a nice commentary. When Jnana is secondary and Bhakti is primary or predominant, it is called Jnana Mishra Bhakti, which produces Shanti Rati in the spiritual world, beyond the three gunas. If a Jnana predominates and Bhakti is secondary, Bhakti is just an anga of Jnana, then produces Suja Mukti, merging in Brahman. Bhakti mixed with karma, such as horse sacrifice and other Vedic dharmas, with desire for material gain, of making some offering of actions, and attachment to results, produces Slokya Mukti, with happiness and power. If one performs bhakti, it offers some karmas without desire for results, it produces Shanti Rati. The Rajasic and Tamasic Bhakti produce a result. The reformer generally gets material results. However, the results will be greater than usual because of the power of Bhakti. But in terms of yielding devotional results, in some cases, Bhakti will, in time, become pure Bhakti, which verse chapter 5, Canto 5, famous verse chapter 19, verse 27. That Krishna fulfills the desires of the devotees who want things material. The lot of devotees want a lot of stuff. They get it too. They're devotees, they're initiated, they're chanting everything. They're good devotees, but they have a lot of material desires. I get it. But Krishna gives a tricky thing. He said, Krishna gives them, but in such a way, he doesn't give it that they keep asking. At one time when they keep asking, he slips it in his lotus feet. They ask for a new car. So he gets a new car. And and then for his birthday, his uncle, he was praying to Krishna. Oh, Krishna, give me a new car. And his uncle gave a new car. And the car was called a Lotus. It was a kind of a car made in England called Lotus. And he got the car given to him. He didn't have it, he wanted another kind of car in his mind, but he got a Lotus. So Krishna gave him a car, but stuck his Lotus seat inside the car. Because when he got the car, he said, I'm driving a Lotus. Krishna has Lotus feet. Why am I so attached to cars and all this stuff? I keep worshiping Krishna. I should just try to get Krishna Lotus feet. So I'm going to take this car, Lotus car, and go to the temple and pray to Krishna to free me from his material desire. So that's our 5th Canto, chapter 19, verse 27. Krishna gives the lotus seat, which includes everything desirable, even to worshippers who don't desire them. So Krishna's a very tricky guy. He's very, very tricky. It's like, you go to a Chinese restaurant. The Chinese restaurants are what they call fortune cookies. They're little hollow cookies. They put a piece of paper inside with a message inside. And you can buy for like $1, you get 5 fortune cookies. And then everybody gets on the table. You're gonna this and that, all this stuff. So the sun devotees are the worship Krishna, and Krishna keeps giving them fortune cookies. And they open up the cookie and you get, Krishna's giving me this. Krishna felt my desire. He felt my desire. Then the 5th fortune cookie opened up and it says, "This stupid, look, Jack. Stop asking me for stuff. You're wasting your life. Wake up. Start doing pure bhakti. Come back home, back to God. Go back to God. Come to the spiritual world. Come serve me in the spiritual world." What's your fortune cookie? He said, I don't know. So that's how Krishna tricks the jiva. So look at verse 11 and 12. It says, because the mind, by hearing about Krishna's qualities, flows continuously to Krishna, the Paramatma in the hearts of everyone, just like the Ganga goes to the ocean. The quality of bhakti beyond the gunas is absence of results other than bhakti, and the lack of obstruction from other processes. So bhakti is not mixed with any karma, any jnana, any material desires or selfish desires. It's just all absorbed, and when it's totally absorbed in name, form, qualities, and pastime of Krishna. Bhakti is the practice, and bhakti is the goal. Why are you doing bhakti? What's the goal of bhakti? Bhakti. What's the goal of bhakti? Bhakti. Bhava. Bhava bhakti. What's the goal of bhakti? Prema. Prema bhakti. So it's always bhakti. Wherever you begin, in the middle, and the end is bhakti. Serving Krishna. It is explained in the 1st canto that the 1st and 12th stage of bhakti, Sadhu Sangha and Prema, should not be considered cause and effect. This bhakti is unobstructed, devoid of blockage by jnana or karma, sattva-guna, rajaguna. This means that bhakti is beyond the gunas, material modes of nature. The 12 stages of bhakti are a footnote on the bottom of page 700. Vaishnava Kripa, Vaishnava Seva, Shraddha, Guru Padashraya, Seva Vasana, Bhakti Bhajan, Anartha Nivriti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti Bhavan Prem. There's another way of saying Shraddha Prem, basically. So let's see what BBT says about this verse here. BBT. Somebody wrote me a letter and asked me some questions. I wrote back and I used like capital SP and ECT. They wrote back, what's SP? what's SCM? First I was stupid. But I don't know, I never met the guy. He got my address somehow. Sent me an email. First thing I never, he was stupid. I just told him what it meant, though. That's not his read, though. So this is chapter 29, verse 11. Okay, let's see what I have. Yeah, here it is. Oh, let's see. Okay, no, nothing going on there. Okay. Not yet. Okay. So, okay, here we go. This is a famous verse, another famous verse in this chapter. It's very important to blow up the idea of going back to God. This is my guru blew up my conception. He asked me, what do they teach in ISKCON when I surrendered to him? And then they teach you going back home, back to God. What does that mean? It said, the idea is that we were homing the spiritual world, and we were there, we got envious of Krishna, and we left there and came, what? What are you talking about? Anyway, that's what they said. that's what I learned. I said, okay, that's nice. Then he said, but Kapil Muni says his. He quoted this verse. Very important verse, because Kapil Muni is saying, I don't want to go back to God. I don't want mukti. And that was, how many years ago was this spoken? What yuga was it spoken?
Satyuga.
Satyuga. Kapil Muni speaking to his mother, Devahuti, the wife of Karna Muni, in third canto. And then 500 years ago, Lord Bhagavan came not as Kapil Muni, as seeing Kapil Muni appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he said, Nadan, Najan, Nasundram, Kavitam La Jagadisha Kami, Mama Jamani Jamani, Shri Bhagavatat Bhagavat Bhaktir Haitiki. I don't care about rebirth. Birth after birth, I just want to serve Krishna. So that's what Kapil Muni is quoting here, is saying here in 3rd Canto, chapter 29, verse 13. This is a slap in the face of someone who said they want to go back home back to God. He said, I want seva. Vina mat sevanam jana. I only know that I don't want to go anywhere where I can't serve Krishna. So there are jivas in Vaikuntha that are not serving Vishnu. They're living in our big palaces. Yeah, it's called Salokya Mukti. and they have, they're living in Vaikuntha, they have Sloka Mukti, they have the same, they look beautiful, handsome, the four arms, the blue body, so they have Sruva Mukti, and they have Sharsti Mukti. Sharsti means have the same wealth and opulence as Bhagavan, but they don't do any seva. They have spiritual body, and they're just enjoying the atmosphere. Right? So some fortunate souls have Samipya Mukti. They live near Vishnu, or even if they don't have Samipya. Samipya means be near Vishnu. They're doing Seva. So there's Premotara and Sevotara, and there's, what's the other one? I forget what the other one is. It's described in Bhagavatam. Two kinds of people in the spiritual world. One is imbued with seva, one is just prema. They have love, they have prema, otherwise you can't get the Vaikuntha, but they don't have any desire to do seva. It's a really interesting paradox. So that's why, because why does he say, devotees don't accept living on my planet. Real devotees don't accept living in Vaikuntha, having similar powers as me, staying close to me, having a similar form, so to speak, of merging into me, if these things are offered, unless they can serve me. Very important verse. So he doesn't want to go back home, back to God. That's why, what do we always say? We want to prem seva Radha Krishna. Our goal is prem seva. Here, there, anywhere. It's a very important consideration, because this is what makes Gaudiya Vaishnava. It's not so simple. There are many people who are Vaishnavas, and they're very good Vaishnavas, and they'll practice their sadhana bhakti, Navaveda bhakti, just like us, but they have a desire to go to Vaikuntha. They're called Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, Brahmananda Sampradaya. Everybody has the idea to go to the spiritual world, except Gaudiyas. It's called Panchama Purushartha. It's the fifth goal of life, only taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prema Vartaman, Prema, everyone teaches moksha, and you can't get moksha unless you have prema. But those days I didn't preach moksha, he preached prema seva. Bhagavad Bhakti Raita Kitoyi. Bhagavan Bhakti, here, there, anywhere. Jummy. It's a very crucial point. So you can still bail out, it's not too late, you know. Imagine if they told us when you join. The goal is to stay in New York City. The goal is to join the Moscow Temple and stay here forever. Hey, wait a minute, it's too cold in winter. Oh, I go to Vrindavan. Get warm. I'm tying all these jackets and frozen beers. My wash my hair and it becomes ice when I walk out the door, you know. You have to have heaters inside, you have to have electric socks. Yeah, electric socks, battery operated. It's true. Otherwise their toes freeze together. They get to work, they have flippers. Like super glue, you know. Kids with super glue on their brother's finger, you know. Yeah. Naughty kids, you know. Hey, Joe Jr., huh? Hey, Mommy! Crazy kids, you know. Okay, let's go. So let's go on this chapter, verse 16. The mind should become purified by offering obeisances, praying, worshiping, touching, and seeing the multi forms of Krishna, and thinking of Krishna in everyone's heart, giving up bad association with determination. Satvena, they translate as determination. Let's see what BBT says about that. Okay, BBT. Okay, well, where's that? 16. The word Satvena, Sri Swami gives a different explanation. Because this verse, where's Satvena? Satvena is in line number 4. Satvena Asanga Gamena. 3 words are combined there. Satvena Asangamena. Satvena Asangamena. Asangamena means detachment. Sattva generally means modes of nature. But listen to this. Sri Swami describes this word Satvena means patience, Dharya. One must perform bhakti with great patience. One should not give up bhakti because he's tried once or twice and hasn't become successful. One must continue. Rupa Goswami confirms that one should be very enthusiastic and execute bhakti bhajan with patience and confidence. Patience is necessary for developing the confidence that Krishna will certainly accept me because I'm doing bhakti. Keep your fingers crossed. Krishna, you got to accept me. Come on, boy. I'm counting on you. I moved to your holy dham so you can't miss me. I'm in your backyard. Come out the back door, look at me. So it talks a lot about bhakti, or how to practice bhakti, how to behave. Verse 17, show compassion. This is a fourfold way of behavior towards equals, juniors, seniors you respect, juniors you show compassion, equals you're friendly. Right, that's what it says. The mind is purified by hearing about Krishna, chanting Krishna Nam, good association. Per commentary Vishnu 18, understanding we have bad qualities like pride, one can conquer these by worshiping great devotees. Verse 20, very nice comparison here. Just as the wind carries fragrance to the nose, the mind is carried to Krishna by Bhakti Yoga. It's a very nice analogy. The fragrance doesn't do anything, it just floats in the air, ends up in your nose. So the devotee doesn't do anything. It's apparently not much action to think of Krishna. Your mind is just thinking of Krishna. And that thought, that bhakti practice of thinking of Krishna carries your mind like the wind carries the fragrance to the nose. It carries your mind, delivers it to Krishna directly. It's very nice. I really like this analogy. Commentary of Vishnu. As the fragrance of a flower is carried by the air to the nose, the heart engaged in bhakti goes to the super soul Paramatma. All practices of bhakti make the heart attain Krishna. What is the cause of offenses? Chapter 21 says. Commentary. Offenses generally stem from disrespect to great devotees. This is because of false ego, pride. This guy. I think I show respect to him. He's a Russian guy, He's an American guy, I'm an Indian Brahmin. It works like that. It's sorry to say, but it's all about pride and ignorance. And offense generally stems from disrespect to great devotees. To avoid offending great devotees, one should pay respects to all living entities, thinking that Krishna is present in them. In these verses, disrespect, disregard, hatred, and criticism are forbidden. So these are forbidden practices: disrespect, disregard, hatred, and criticism. There's a very nice commentary in Bhakti Sandarbha on this concept of respect, because the respect of a Gaudiya Vaishnava is, which we learn from our philosophy and from our acharyas, is quite different than the ordinary conception of spiritual respect which most religions, Buddhists, Vaishnavas, Christians, their concept of respect is usually universal without discrimination. So it's really requires fine-tuning and very discriminating intelligence to practice respect according to the Gaudiya conception. So because of that complexity of the simple practice of respect, I'm going to read some commentaries, some verses from Bhakti Sandarbha. Because this is one thing that really confused me when I first came to Krishna Bhakti. This idea of how to, this about Vaishnava sadhana behavior. There's so many levels of respect. And you see, practically, if you read closely the Shastra describing Krishna Leela, this concept of, like we say, multi-level, multiverse, multi-level, multi-level modes of respect are seen in the daily life of Krishna and his devotees. Krishna entered the assembly and he touched the feet of seniors, and he embraced his equals, and he shook hands with friends, and he put his hand on the head of juniors. All different kinds of behavior expressed that public setting with others. So first, I'll describe, because why we behave the way we behave is because of rag and dvesh. Rag and Dvesh. There's a verse in Gita, 7th chapter.
इच्छा द्वेष समुद्यम
Isha Dvesha Smritina
द्वंद्व
Dvandamaya Bharata
सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहम
Sarvutani Samaham
सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप
Sarvayanti Sarvayanti Prandapa. Everyone is born into delusion, overcome by dualities of like and dislike. I like you. I hate you. You're nice. You're a jerk. Icha Dvesha, desire and hatred. Means like, desire means I want it, I desire it, I like it, I'm attached to it. And hatred means I don't like it, I don't like you, I like chocolate, I don't like vanilla. This is attraction and repulsion. North Pole and South Pole are the two primary emotions experienced by all human beings. They are creations of
Mind.
ignorance. Vidyakijai. Primordial ignorance of one's true self and of Krishna. This is the root disease of all living entities. Isha Dvesha Samurtena Dvandavaya Bharata
सर्वभूतानि
Sarvabhutani
सम्मोहम
Samoha Moha illusion Sarvayanti Brahma
परन्तप
Prantapa
परन्तप is Arjuna's
Arjuna Prantapa. The guy who burns people up. Paran Tapa. Yeah, the top, he burns them up with flaming arrows. So that's the disease. What is the remedy?
सतां प्रसङ्गां मम दीर्घसंविदो भवन्तु
Yeah, that's basically it. The only remedy for this condition is the infusion of the conscious intrinsic potency through Shakti in the form of Bhakti. Bhakti is the only remedy for Icha, Dvesha, attraction, repulsion. Bhakti destroys ignorance. Without contacting Bhakti, avidya cannot be overcome. Bhakti is inaccessible as long as one is overpowered by feelings of raga and dvesh, attraction and repulsion. I like you, I hate you. What is the solution to this dilemma? The solution is, this is a commentary by Satyanarayana Babaji, by the way. The solution is, first, cultivate an awareness of Krishna by worshipping the Murti. That's why Diksha begins, the purpose of taking Diksha is to get mantras to do puja. Because without Diksha you can't do Murti puja, technically according to Shastra. Because puja means pleasing Krishna, and Krishna himself speaks in the Agamas about puja, saying, I won't accept puja is not done by someone who takes Diksha. Because all Diksha has gone through the connection and mercy of the Guru. That's why first puja is done the Guru. And even Shastras say, one who worships Krishna without first worshiping Guru goes down, it's like pouring ghee on ashes. You're supposed to pour ghee into a fire, and it's called Yagyavai Vishnu. You pour ghee on ashes, it doesn't burn, that just mix it with the ashes. So puja doesn't go through Guru. Puja by an uninitiated person is like throwing ghee on ashes. Sorry to speak the truth. Wait a minute. I got in the mail. I got my murtis in the mail from online services. VVT online services. They sell puja tray and murtis. I got telegrams through the mail from Amazon. I got Gordon Tidys from Shop in Vrindavan online. Okay, that's great, but now I get to take picture. You get proper mantras and do puja. This is how it works. When faith is born by association of a devotee, and one formally accepts the Guru to undertake the path of bhakti, then the worship of Krishna's Murti may begin. In the beginning, devotee is still tied to is a prakrita bhakta, cannot perceive Krishna's presence in the Murti. But because the person has faith, he takes to the path of worship, he or she. This is a very interesting sentence. Then gradually, through the influence of the self-revealing power of the intrinsic potency, which means the self-revealing power of bhakti, suprakat, self-revealing power, Krishna himself is disclosed as identical with the Murti, and simultaneously one becomes free from rag and dvesh, rooted in ignorance. So this is a very scientific explanation of the purpose of Murti Puja and the result of Murti Puja. In other words, why we're in the mature world? Because we've been here eternally because of ignorance, and the predominating features of ignorance is rag and dvesh, which means attraction and repulsion, liking and disliking, loving and hating. And what the solution is? The mercy of a guru and diksha, and start to do puja. That's why when one takes initiation, they should engage in some Murti Puja. And then when you do Murti Puja, you don't understand how the Murti is Krishna, but by and by you say, I just think it's some piece of stone. I think it's a piece of metal. But my Guru told me to puja. And every day I promise to bathe my deity and dress my deity. So I'm just going to keep doing it. And one day, hey, you're Krishna. Krishna smiled at me. Really? Yeah. No, this is a Murti. It's not a Murti, it's Krishna. You'll die for that Murti. You'll do anything, you'll live for that Murti. It's a gradually, through the influence of the self-revealing power of the intrinsic potency of Krishna himself will be disclosed as identical with the Murti, and at that time will become free from rag and dvesh. This is an amazing thing. Because people are rag and dvesh, so what do? They get a Murti to fulfill the rag and dvesh. So the man gets a female Murti, and woman gets a male Murti, and do all kinds of puja. They rub the Murtis, they massage the Murtis, and then they bathe the Murtis, they feed the Murtis, they make clothes for the Murtis, earn money and buy clothes for the Murtis, buy bangles and saris for the Murtis. But do they get free of rag and dvesh? No. They got a little Murti of Krishna. I do pujas every day. You become blissful. And then your male Murti and female Murti, husband and wife, I don't want you guys anymore. I got my Giriraj. Hey, well, that's a rock, man. To you, you're a rock. So rock out, man. Wow. As a consequence of Murti Puja, one is then able to recognize Krishna's presence in every living entity. This is the unique greatness of Vaishnava Dharma, which is the path of love and cooperation. This is a great sentence. This is the unique greatness of Vaishnava Dharma, this phenomenon transformation of the Jiva's consciousness by doing Murti Puja. Taking Diksha, Vaishnava Mantra Diksha, doing Murti Puja under the permission and blessing of Guru, connection of Guru, and then Krishna's through Shakti Bhakti, Bhakti Shakti, through Shakti, manifests through the Murti Puja, being pleased, Krishna and Murti will remove Rag and Dvesh, and then you'll fill with love and see Krishna's presence in every doggy, every monkey, every parrot, every little kid. And this is a path of love and cooperation. There is no place for egotism, hatred, envy, and jealousy on this path. This mode of love is what Krishna displayed in his Vrindavan Leela. This way of love, mode means way. This way of love, this life of love. As an example of this principle, Jiva Goswami cites the story of Mrigari the hunter. Ari means killer and Mriga means animal. So the guy probably had another name. I think he was born with the name Mrigari. The guy's name is Joe Smith. And he's 2 meters tall, he weighs 400 pounds. He weighs 250 kilos. So everybody calls him Fatso. So is his birthday Fatso?
No.
No, so.
No.
His birth name is Joe Tchaikovsky. Joe Smith. Well, he weighs 250 kilos, so his nickname is Fatso. So regarding the hunter, because when I first saw it, I thought that was his name. Arjun the Bowman. No, I thought it was his name, but it's not his name. His name is something else. But Mrigari, Ari means killer, Mrig means animal. He was a hunter. The Aborigine lived in the jungle, but he was an evil guy, so he would kill animals in such a way they would take hours to die. He deliberately shot them in such a way they wouldn't die immediately. He would shoot them in the heart, they die immediately. He would enjoy watching them suffer and die. They're real, what they call sadists. So Narada Muni and Parvati Muni met him one day. They told him to give up this hunting and take up bhakti. After some time, he did it. He gave up hunting and took up bhakti. After some time, Narada Muni came to visit his disciple. And when Mrigari, the former hunter, saw his Guru Narada, he paid obeisance and got up to receive him. But as Mrigari was walking towards Narada Muni, he suddenly stopped. Narada said, "Why did you stand?" Asked him why he stood still. He said, "I can't walk any farther closer to you because there's many ants on the path between me and you, and I don't want to step on them." Hearing this, Narada Muni declared that such qualities as nonviolence are not surprising because the hunter has taken to the path of bhakti. Indeed, this is the intrinsic power of bhakti. Although previously he enjoyed torturing animals, but by the influence of bhakti he became so nonviolent. Of all varieties of human beings, a hunter is especially cruel. Yet bhakti is so powerful it can purify even such a callous and nasty person. Because bhakti because a devotee sees his or her Ishta Devata in every living being. Now here's the thing I was talking about, respect. The unique concept of respect in Gaudiya Vaishnava. Because generally people are the kind of like the Mother Teresa Bob. Respect everyone. You know, everybody has rights, it's all one. Unisex clothing. Men and women wear the same clothing. We're all equal. Everyone's equal, no high and low. We should respect everyone. You should hug a tiger and hug your sister, hug your brother, hug your dog, hug your tiger. Kiss your cobra. Although respect is due to all beings, it should be extended according to the level of consciousness manifest in a particular body. It is not that a dog and a Vaishnava are to be treated in an identical manner. In our modern, politically correct social milieu, there is a prevalent view that discrimination of any kind is reprehensible, means not good, and everyone should be treated equal in an unquestioning, unconditional manner. However, this is not the sign of true intelligence. To abstain from the use of discrimination does not require any brains. An insane person treats everyone equally because one has lost intelligence. The function of intelligence is to distinguish truth from untruth, right from wrong, to discern what is higher and lower. In our practical dealings, we do not treat everyone in exactly the same way. If the Prime Minister of India comes to your house to visit, he will be treated according to his position appropriately by his host. This is normal, reasonable conduct that is commonly ascribed to. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, 29th chapter, verses 28 through 33, which we'll get to in a minute. Let's keep reading. So look at page 707. It describes a verse here. For 11th Canto of Vishnu's commentary. It says, Archiyame Vaharye Pujam Yashadi Yahate Natat Bhakti Chaneshu Sabhakti Prakrita Srinta. A devotee who worships Krishna's Murti but doesn't behave properly is called a Prakrita Bhakta. See line 2, Prakrita Bhakta. Prakrita Bhakta means unrefined, raw, new devotee. Prakrita means very materialistic type of devotee. Verse 23, but we're talking about the subject of respect. If a person offers respect to Krishna, but is inimical toward other beings, hating other bodies, not seeing others suffering as equal to one's own, one's mind does not attain peace. Krishna tells his mother, I am not pleased with a person who criticizes others, while at the same time worshiping my Murti form. One who criticizes others is worse than one who hates others. That's interesting. It's okay to hate. Just keep your mouth closed. It is said in 11th Canto, sharp arrows which pierce the body and reach the heart. Don't cause as much suffering as arrows of insulting words become lodged in the heart. Verse 25, when a person doesn't know that Krishna is in the heart of everyone, one should continue to worship Murti. Commentary. Those that are pure devotees generally don't disrespect anyone because their minds and intelligence is pure. Until the impurities of mind and intelligence are no longer, until the impurities, that's a pretty way to say it. When impurities from the subtle body are destroyed, when disrespect will be destroyed. When the subtle body of mind and intelligence is pure, one won't disrespect anyone. Verse 26. In the form of death, I give great fear to a person who makes distinction between his own belly and bellies of others. Let's look at Prabhupada's translation of this verse. It's a very interesting idea. The udar is translated as belly. Damodar. Dama means robe and udar means belly. Everyone knows about the udar. Big udar. Tie a rope around that thing. Udara. Damodara, Jaya Damodara, Jaya Damodara, Jaya Damodara. Verse number 26. So what has it got to say here? Avinasya parasyapi yakaro yantarodaram tasya vinajisha mitra vidade vayam ovanam. Okay, as the blazing fire of death, I cause great fear to whoever makes the least discrimination between himself and other living entities because of a differential outlook. There are bodily differentiations among all varieties of living entities, but a devotee should not distinguish between one living entity and another on such a basis. The devotee's outlook should be that both the soul and super soul are equally present in all varieties of living entities. So it's not talking about belly. The point is, I thought the translation was a little off. That's right, I want to look it up. Belly.
Commentary is like that. Commentary by Vishwanath is like that. Bellies.
Yeah. He based his translation on commentary. I am Paul Vishnu on this one. That's the beauty of the life, Very subjective. I'll take this one, take that. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay, here we go. Verse 28. There's more about different levels and ways of respecting. So these 6 verses from 28 through 33 describe gradations of living entities, higher and lower, according to their bodies and the level of consciousness. Krishna says, unlike Gyanis and other people, devotees does not have to see everything completely with equal vision, but with gradation. So we see things of creation. The Moksha Dharma, the interesting says, the trees can see and some trees can smell. So when you go stand next to a tree, you'll smell good the tree. What's the proof that trees can see? Tricky question, guys. What's the proof that trees can see? You don't know?
They can walk, but
They can walk and talk and everything. What's the proof that trees can see? Bhagavatam says trees can see. Moksha Dharma said. And some Mahabharata also.
In Saints of Raj, Gauranga's Babaji.
So forget about things, bro, just a lot of, Western stuff in there. But every day, your own experience.
because they move, maybe.
Sun.
The Russian house is here. And next door are the trees growing. And the branch comes out of the tree. It goes like this towards the Russian house. And it goes and then it curves like this.
Wow.
Yeah, but maybe it's
Yes.
It sees the house and it doesn't go
Bends.
forward. If you're driving, there's a car in front of you, you don't run into the car. You go around the car. So they're driving, going that way. Oh, there's a house there. Okay, I'm gonna go that way. Commentary on verse 20, what is it? 28, chapter 29. And Prabhupada explains in the commentary. A living organism is sometimes manifested in a rock or stone. Experience shows that some hills and mountains are growing. This is due to the presence of the soul within that stone. In the Moksha Dharma section of the Mahabharata, it's stated, very nice tomorrow morning. It's raining tonight. Though barometric pressure coming from the east, we will hot winds from the Rajasthan desert and create boom, rain. Weatherman report. So Moksha Dharma section Mahabharata says trees have developed sense perception. Trees can see and smell.
Touch.
We know by experience that trees can see. Sometimes in its growth, a large tree changes the course of its development to avoid some hindrance. This means a tree can see. And according to Mahabharata, trees can also smell. So that's pretty cool. Trees can smell. So when you get some mild oil, rub it on the bark of the tree. Actually, I do that already. Because I'm a little crazy guy. Because Gurudev told me to worship Tulsi with Mahaprasad. We don't offer Amaniya to Tulsi, because Tulsi is Vrindadevi. Vrindadevi doesn't eat any bhoga. She only takes prasad of Krishna. Because her bhava is Krishna Sneha Adi. She has more affection for Krishna than she has for Radharani. Although Vrindadevi is a great servant of Radharani, her affection, like the Lalita Vishaka, their affection is Sama Sneha Adi, the equal affection for Radharani and Krishna. The Manjri's affection is Radha Sneha Adi. Adik means extra, more, additional. So Manjris have Radha Sneha Adik, they have more affection for Radharani than Krishna. But Vrindadevi is the Nishta Saki of Krishna Sneha Adik. They have more affection for Krishna, Radharani. So when Radharani sits down and eats her remnants, she gets Krishna's remnants brought from Nandagram in the evening by some Manjris. And at that time, Radharani shares Krishna's remnants with the Sakis. And she takes some of Krishna's remnants and separates them and tells Rupa Manjri, take these to Vrindadevi. Vrindadevi wants to eat Krishna's remnants. Because it's Krishna's sayadi. But Radharani eats Krishna's remnants, and when she's done, she gives that to Rupa Manjri. But when she gets Krishna's remnants from Nandagram, she doesn't eat them, she gives them directly through one she gets a Vrindadevi. The Vrindadevi doesn't eat Radharani's remnants because he's Krishna's sayadi. Very interesting idea. But the Manjris always eat Radharani's remnants. So trees can smell also. So what I'm saying is, I pour Charamrita, which is only water. I only bathe my Jagarji with water. I pour Charamrita on Tulsi. And I offer incense and offer the gilam. And sometimes I sprinkle a little sweet in the soil. And I offer the Maha oil. I offer scented oil. I rub it on the bark of Tulsi. Or I take the cotton, I put some in her between her branches. Wear some perfume. This is nice, Bob. Because trees can smell. And in Tulsi's case, Tulsi wants to smell Krishna. Okay. Verse 29. Oh. Trees with touch. Superior to trees who can touch are living beings with taste. Superior to tasters are living beings who can smell. Superior to smelling living beings are hearing living beings. So worms can taste. The worms are superior to trees. But smell, insects are superior to worms. That's true, bro. Beings who can see and distinguish between different forms of like crows are superior. Entities with teeth, upper and lower teeth, are superior to crows, like snakes. Those that have many legs, like bees, are superior to snakes. Bees have 2 sets of teeth. That's right. They cut flowers. Four-legged animals are superior to those bees, and two-legged animals are superior to four-legged. Mountains like Govardhan and Venkatacha are superior, and plants like Tulsi are superior, worthy of worship, because they live in the spiritual world. So it's all different levels of superiority, which should be respected in different levels also. And okay, carry on here, kids. Verse number 33. One of the things that Krishna alone inspires his bhakti, or the bhakti, and identifies with others' happiness and distress as superior. So Krishna is inspiring bhakti. And then verse 34. One should all respect with the mind to all living entities, thinking that Krishna has entered that living entity as Paramatma, and also as a form of the jiva. So this is about the destroying different levels of living entities should be respected in different ways. So continue. In Bhakti Sandarbha, in Honor Shade 106, commentary of Sri Satyananda Swami Maharaj, he describes about the hierarchy of beings and consciousness serve as a basis for corresponding scale of respect. Bhagavan is the source of all living entities and the highest level of being. Devotees who have realized Krishna and are worshiping Krishna are the most worthy of the highest regard. Every living entity should be shown respect according to their actual status. Vaishnavas are always worthy of worship. And third canto, chapter 29, verse 34, which we just mentioned. Where is it? 31. Let's read the Sanskrit for 34.
Manasetaani bhutani pranamet bahumanayan ishvaro jiva kalaya pravishnu bhagavaniti.
A perfect devotee offers respect to every living entity because one is under the firm conviction that Krishna has entered the body of every living entity as Paramatma, or controller. One should internally honor all living entities, knowing that Krishna is inside them by his expense as Paramatma. The foundational principle of Srimad Bhagavatam is that there is only one non-dual absolute reality that is self-disclosed in manifold ways. When that reality is revealed as intrinsically self-endowed with its own potencies and completion, that reality is known as Bhagavan, the non-dual personal absolute. He is the ultimate object of respect and worship. Nothing exists independent of Krishna. On this basis, all beings are worthy of respect due to their being constitutionally related to Krishna. The more a being is devoted to Krishna, the more he or she deserves to be honored. For a beginner, this respect should be applied with the theoretical acknowledgement of Bhagavan's presence in everything. No, I'm not going to read that. It said no. Sorry about that. Okay, that's that. So, let's carry on. Okay. What verse is that? 34.
34.
Okay. Now we have 35 and 36. Then 37:8 talk about time. There's not much time left. What time is it, by the way?
4:42.
4:42, we're running out of time. So if you're at time, we have to close the class. So chapter 29 ends about the fear of time. Everyone's running crazy. Time is controlling everything. And now, chapter 30. Chapter 30 is about death and where you're going to hell. At the end, you give birth again. And hell, the one experienced in the womb. And when one is in the womb experiencing hell, he turns to Bhagavan. Some, not everybody. That's basically what's told. That's your view. Let's look into it. And you go to hell and all. You get a family you can't maintain, you eat all leftovers. Live like a dog, get old, teeth fall out. You can't do anything. Then you die and go to hell. What kind of body do you get to suffer in hell? What's it called? It's called Yatsana Deya. What did you say?
Preta.
That's also true. It's described in chapter 30, verse 20. This Yatsana Deya, I heard this term in the Sandarbhas described in commentary by Satyanarayan about Yatsana Deya. That we go to hell, we suffer in Yatsana Deya. Because the mind can travel millions of miles an hour. So you go through hell, you seem like you're there for a million years, but you're only there for a few minutes. And you're traveling in your Yatsana Deya, and you're boiling oil and all that kind of stuff. And all that suffering, but it happens very fast, but it's still painful. That's 23, he goes, he has a tough time. It's very hot, he's being whipped. He goes along a path millions of miles long. And it only takes a couple minutes, and he ends up in front of Yamaraj. Good luck, good luck. It's not a good place to go. There's no way to beauty here. It's so confusing because just now they use all these term yojanas and stuff like that. So Prabhupada makes it a little easier. So the pathway to Yamaloka is 792,000 miles long. 792,000 miles, which is about, I don't know, 1,000 kilometers or something like that. I mean, like 1,000,000 kilometers. For such a long distance is passed in a few moments only. The subtle body is covered by the Yamadutas, so the living entity passes such a long distance very quickly, but at the same time tolerates the suffering. To pass 792,000 miles within a few moments may seem amazing to modern science. That's pretty fast moving. That's really fast. It's a rapid road to hell. Verse 29, Gopal tells his mother, in this material world, hell and heaven are also experienced. Hellish punishments are seen in this world also. We can see how people were punished in ancient days. There's something called a rack. In medieval time, the king didn't like someone. He put him on the rack, and they pull your joints apart. They tie something around your ankles and put something around your neck, and it stretches your body. And they crank it. Your ankles get snapped. Your head snaps. It's the way you kill someone. A very cruel punishment that. So hell is like that. Verse 34. After going through many births below human form, becoming purified, one returns to earth as a human being again. So that's all about going to hell. And then chapter 31 is back home, back to human life again. Here we go again. Wham. You're hungry and they think you have gas in your stomach, so your mother starts patting your back. And you say, why are you patting my back where I'm hungry, man? And you got a bunch of poop in your pants. And you think you're thirsty, and you stick a milk bottle in your mouth. You're trying to tell her, my pants changed my diapers, but she doesn't get the idea. So she's doing everything by guesswork. So it's a little hard to communicate when you can't talk. Heavy life, boy. So that's first verse is describing how you get a body. It's by karma, by super soul, by devatas, they make your body. It's a very famous verse, Prabhupada quotes a lot. Shri Bhagavana Vacha Karana Devane Chena Jantar Deo Bhavati Shriya Pravishyaram Unsarita Kanashaya. So it's basically a process of human birth. And it describes how the combination of egg and sperm combine to make a living entity, and he's suffering and all the pain, and his mother eats hot chili, he gets burned up. That big going mother. He already red chili. He cries in the womb. Then he says, the wise devotee, verse 11, the wise Shiva is very scared in the womb, and he folds his hands and prays. But it's not every jiva does this, by the way. Not every human jiva prays. See a commentary of Vishnu, page 740. The prayers of jiva in the womb do not indicate that every jiva bound up in the material world prays in this manner. It only means that jiva was a devotee who prayed in his last life like this life will pray in the next life. So every jiva is suffering in the womb and bitten by all bugs and everything, and very painful situation. But they're not praying to God, they're not folding their hands, they're not remembering God. The jiva is a devotee prays like this in the womb. Not every jiva does so. Very important commentary of Vishnu, verse number 11, chapter 31. Then he explains how he's praying. It's pretty incredible science. This book was written 5,000 years ago. It's telling what's going on in the womb. All the detailed thing, which now they know by microscopes and laser and all kinds of cameras. They can understand 1 week this happens, head develops this 1 week, and then reproductive glands grow, manifest, gender manifests after 2 months. All this stuff we know now, we write right now, but it was written in the Vedas 5,000 years ago. That's what the astonishing thing to me is. How minutely describes how the semen and ovum combine and make a head and a tail and all. This system develops after 7 days and 2 months. I know all this stuff. They look inside and see. No microscope, no telescope, no electron microscope, no little cameras. That's pretty amazing, actually, to me. So that's 31. What verse was that? What I just read?
11.
Okay, verse 15. The person repeatedly loses memory because of fatigue as he treads the path of birth and death, bound by karma and the gunas. How can such a bound person choose spiritual life without the mercy of the devotees? So how does one attain bhakti? Kapila Muni says, only by the mercy of a great soul. My worship of Krishna has appeared only by the mercy of some Krishna devotee guru I had in previous life. That's nice. Verse 17, commentary is nice. Oh Krishna, my happiness and distress and my attaining your lotus feet are all dependent on you. What can I ask for, since I am so childish? I am situated in my mother's body, desiring to become free. I'm counting my months until my birth. This is the 8th month, this is the 9th month, this is the 10th month. I have no intelligence, since my happiness and distress have been given by my fate. When will I get out of this place? Because the difficulties cannot be tolerated within the womb, I will worship you when I come outside. What happens? That's how you pray when you're in the womb. If you're devoting that's like, oh, this is bad news over here. I promise you I'll worship you when I come out. The same, when does the same phenomenon happen?
Just before death.
That's true. When else? Very good answer, Govinda. Just before when the devotee dies, he laments, oh, I wasted so much of my life. I wasn't serious about bhakti. I should have been more serious. I should have applied myself more. I should have wasted so much time serving on the internet.
When we are sick.
This is the death comes once. Being sick comes many times. So we're saying, oh God, when I get out of here, when I get better, I'm going to be this and that. And then you get better, then for one day you're out.
That situation when person between death and life, you know, in some accident or in the war, when it's death is nearby, or when you go in, like
death is nearby. When you're in a frightening situation, you also think about getting serious about Krishna, remembering. Okay, well, let's see. Well, I get out of this place. I will worship you. Then you get born. Oh, look at me, looks like mother, looks like father. Oh, he's so cute. They bring no worship. Look at verse number 24. This is birth, your glorious birth. This describes your glorious birth. You fall on the ground, smeared with blood, you move around like a worm, and cry loudly. You lost all knowledge of your previous existence, and you enter into ignorance. Becomes very forgetful. The jiva's knowledge is generally covered by childhood because of the nature of things. Though he's lucky by a little association, a previous impression to arouse when it attains Krishna by devotion. Previous impression means samskara. Falling into undesirable condition, one can't protest, simply cries. The baby cries because he wants milk. The mother thinks he has a stomach ache and gives him neem juice. When he has a stomach ache, they think he's hungry, they feed him milk. When he also refuses, he cries. He's laying in a dirty bed. Moving sex. Insects means bugs, worms and stuff. These bugs like microbes and germs. He can't scratch himself or sit. Little bugs are biting him, mosquitoes are biting him. He's crying ignorance. And then he becomes a young boy, he gets so angry. Then he grows up and becomes full of desires, starts fighting with other lusty people. He performs all kinds of crazy activities and gets bound in samsara. Oh God, right. Then he finds out about women. And that's all Maya. It said a bunch of Maya about women there. So in this chapter it says, Maya is the form of a woman and Maya is the form of a man. So my advice to all men, watch out for women. And my advice to all women, watch out for men. They're dangerous to each other and to themselves also. So that's basically a chapter ends like that. How's it end? It ends that there's no real birth and death. Don't be scared. Understand the real goal with intelligence. One should move in this world free from attachment, serve Krishna, and go to Krishna. That's the conclusion of chapter 31. One should move about this world made of Maya while giving up attachment to the body, utilizing correct vision, intelligence, yoga, and vairagya. Practice bhakti bhajan and go to Krishna and lovingly serve in the kunja of Vrindavan. Radha Madhav Kunja Vihari. Srimad Bhagavatam chapter 29 through 31 ki jai.